everyone, welcome back to 6 Foot Deep. I am TJ, and I'm not going to make this video long. As you can see by the title, this video is very near and dear to my heart because I'm opening up, and like I said in my previous video, I'm going to be sharing things with you about me that, are very nerve-wracking and, scary. So, yeah. I personally was placed in special ed when I was 13 years old. And I was diagnosed with ADD when I was a junior in college. Now, let me tell you how, the two play in hand. So, when I was in special education, I was called everything in the book. I was called stupid, retarded. I was told I was never going to be successful. I would never make it. I would never become someone of importance. I was made fun of, teased, bullied, everything in the book. And it definitely affected me. I mean, who would not be affected by things like that? Who would not be affected by anything of that sort, being bullied or being called names and, being told that you will never make it or you never be successful. Those things do affect you. I didn't have no one to motivate me until I was 14 years old, and I met my mentor, Bonnie Henderson. When I met her, it was very life-changing because I had someone outside of my family, like my mom, who, believed in me, and it was very new to me because I never had that, So she actually was one of the first people who told me, you are gonna become someone, you are gonna be someone of importance, and you are gonna make it. And I was very, when she told me that, it was refreshing because I never heard that. Going into my classroom were about like 8 kids in special ed, and have the teacher, my special education teachers, having no care. They just wanted to get a check. They were more so worried about receiving their check than helping us. And I am not saying that is all teachers or all special education teachers. No, I am not saying that by any means, but that's what I went through. That's what I experienced. I feel like a lot of kids who are placed in special ed programs or have been diagnosed with ADD or ADHD sometimes can be perceived as a little bit slower than the average, and it's not true. It's not true by any means. Sometimes we're just a little bit more special. We are a little bit more special, and we're that special type of cake that you have to just bake a little bit longer, if that makes sense. But, we need a little bit more time and a little bit more patience. And if I did not have the motivation I had when growing up, I honestly do not know where I would be right now. If Bonnie Henderson did not find me and encourage me, motivate me, help me, I do not know where I would be right now. Miss Henderson found me on a basketball court when I was 14 years old. And when she found me, she said, you know what? You're tall. You're going to play basketball. And I said, I don't know nothing about basketball. She said, but you're going to play basketball because basketball is going to be your way out. Basketball is going to be your way out. And from that day on, from 14 years old, that day, man, my whole life changed. I was in every single basketball camp. I went to prep school, Catholic school, you know, and then I went to junior college, you know, because I was in special ed. So, you know, I had to figure out a way to get out of special ed. So I got out of special ed my sophomore year in high school. And when I got out of special ed, I was actually taking AP classes, AP English, AP History. You know, I was top of my class, you know, but my record was just already with grades, you know. I had a couple of offers coming out of high school, but Miss Henderson wanted me to go high D1. So she told me, you know, you're going to go to junior college. You're going to go to junior college for 2 years and then you're going to transfer out. When I went to junior college, I was still told I was not going to. These people love telling me I'm not going to make it. No, I was still told I was not going to make it by a certain coach who will remain nameless. And he kept me on the bench the whole time because of the fact that at that time I didn't know I had ADD. So he kept me on the bench the whole time because I had problems understanding the plays. Not taking his time out to really help me understand the plays or focus or, you know, figuring out why I'm having such a difficult time understanding the plays. He just sat me on the bench. And at that point I thought, you know what, at that point I thought, what was wrong with me? You know, I got out of special ed, I got great grades. Now, what is wrong with me now? Why is there something wrong with me again? You know, and Miss Henderson, she just told me, like, she just kept on telling me, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You know, you be patient with yourself. And yeah, be patient with yourself, and everything will fall how it's supposed to fall. You know, so after that, I got a scholarship to Rutgers University and met with the coach. Awesome, everything was good, but then I lost the scholarship. When I lost the scholarship, I was very devastated. I was like, how do you lose a scholarship? You know, like, how do you lose a full ride? So I got in touch with Seton Hall. And by the grace of God, an amazing woman, you know, by the name of Ann Donovan, decided to give me a full ride to school. And I thank her, you know. So, yeah. So I got to Seton Hall, and when I got to Seton Hall, she knew. She's seen it in practice. She used to tell me, one conversation we had, she's like, I see you focusing. I see you trying to focus very hard, but it seems like it's difficult for you at times, you know. But she said, I see that you're trying to focus very hard. So one practice she pulled me aside and she was like, TJ, you know, let's get you tested for ADD. And at that time, I didn't know what really was ADD was. I thought it was like, you know, when little kids like jump off the couches, or, you know, they like move around and everything, you know, like, I thought it was for kids. It brought me back to the memory of being special ed. Like, oh my gosh, here goes something again to tell me I'm slow. And she just reminded me, like, you know, I see you trying, so let's see if there is something there holding you back. Took my evaluation test, found out I had ADD. And it was just the patience that she had. She didn't have to do that, you know, like, she didn't have to do a lot of the things she did, but she did it because she cared. Like, she really genuinely cared. And a lot of kids don't have that. A lot of teenagers or younger kids do not have individuals who care for them, and that hurts me, because I was fortunate enough to have these two individuals walk into my life and help me helped me identify myself a little bit better and figure out what was wrong with me, which nothing was wrong with me, you know, I'm fly, but helped me figure out TJ, you know, which is still an ongoing progress, by the way, let me tell you. When I found out I had ADD and I started to take my Adderall, I personally felt like a new woman. I'm not even gonna lie, like, it was just like I saw the whole world. Like, it was just, everything was clear. Like, everything was clear. I was getting the plays. I was like patient with myself. I was going into, like, I was already good in the school. I was already good in school because I was so overly focused. But then, you know, I had the help of the Adderall. So, you know, that wasn't the problem. You know, the Adderall definitely helped, and the patience that my coaches had as well, you know. It definitely helped. You know, it was one of those things that aided in my success. And look back at it now, you know, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful and fortunate to have those two individuals and many more individuals. Don't get me wrong. There are many more individuals in my life that helped me get to where I am today. You know, Coach Ty Grace, Simone Edwards, you know, Miss Enid. There are many people that helped me get to the point where I am today. But those two individuals, I don't ever think I would ever be able to repay them for the help that they gave, for how they helped me, you know, ever. And I'm 26 and I'm still learning. So basically this video is to tell you what I'm doing now. I'm going into motivational speaking. I'm still going to be a sports analyst, and thank you, Lord, everything is coming together with that, you know. So I'm like, why not step into something else as well? So I'm going into motivational speaking, and because I know how much the help of someone else with, I know how much the motivation that Miss Henderson and Coach Donovan, the support, patience, and motivation they gave me, how it has helped me become the woman I am today. And I definitely want to give that to any young woman or any young man that feels like, you know, he is alone, or she is alone, or she is in special ed, or he is in special ed, or he does have ADD, or she does have ADD, and she feels like no one, or he feels like no one is around to help him or her. And it would be selfish of me to not give that person that motivation that they need, you know. And, you know, I have come a long way from special ed to playing professional basketball in Europe, from special ed to being a sports analyst, from special ed to playing high Division I basketball, to finishing up my master's program in the next couple of months and doing my doctorate's degree. You know, wow, you know, these are things that I am proud of and I am grateful for. And there is nothing in the world that I would rather do than help someone else, you know, find their success or help them with their success. And that's it, you know. So this is another field I'm stepping into, and I wanted to share with you guys. And yeah, don't let anyone tell you that you are not worthy, that you are not worth it, that you cannot do it, that you will never succeed, that you cannot become the person that you want to be. Don't let anyone tell you that, ever. You know, don't let nobody tell you who you can love. Do not. Because sometimes people tell you these things because they see the potential in you and they know they can't do it, you know. And be careful, because you will have those people that cheer you on and want to see you succeed but never see you succeed better than them. So be careful, and thank you guys for listening, and one love.